Let's continue with this now. Authorities at the Kruger National Park are on high alert as more rainfall is predicted today and the next coming days. Roads, bridges and water pumps have been damaged. This is due to floods in certain areas of the park. This has led to management moving some tourists to safe areas as a precautionary measure. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is following this story for us. So he joins us once again from the Kruger National Park. Mweli, good morning to you. And just talk to us about the kind of damage that these floods have caused within the Kruger National Park.
Well, I can tell you that this weather is very tricky. It was raining not so long ago, but now the sun is out and it's very hot. But what is happening here on the ground at the Kruger National Park is that technical teams are on the ground trying to repair the infrastructure that has been damaged. Mainly it's bridges and the roads. But we know that in terms of water as well, there are some interruptions because water pumps and pipelines have been damaged. So there are those picnic areas that do not have access to clean drinking water. But we've heard also when we spoke to Hein Robler today, who is the acting head of tourism, that indeed there is an expectation that most rivers will still be flooded because they're expecting more rains. But let me speak to Oriel Nyambi. He's the acting General Manager of Technical Services here at the Kruger National Park. More rain has been forecast and your teams are on the ground trying to deal with the issue of the infrastructure that has been damaged. If you can tell us how extensive is the damage on the ground?
Okay, thank you very much. We are actually now focusing on the access roads. These are the roads that our staff and management and tourists are using on a daily basis. So we have identified strategic access roads, and we're trying to have them repaired temporarily. As you see that it's still raining. And for now, there's a road that connects Skukuza and the northern part of Kruger, is between here and Chokwan. It was damaged on Thursday morning last week when we woke up, and then we managed to repair it by Monday. It was open. Yesterday there was another road between here and Malalani, H11, and it was damaged. We managed to repair it, and then it's open to traffic now. So those are the strategic roads that we are actually focusing and try to make sure that we have them open so that our operations can continue. And in terms of other infrastructure, as you indicated in your introductions, we do have pumps. We get water, we pump water from rivers, and the rivers are flooded. And in many cases, we have pump submerged to the water there, and that's where we extract water, to the waterworks. So in many camps like Malalani, Crocodile Bridge, which we're getting water from Crocodile River, which is heavily flooded. Those pumps, we can't see what's happening because they still are submerged, but we can't get water out of them. So we had to make temporary measures there. So, of course, we had interruptions in terms of water supply. But our team is scattered everywhere to deal with those emergency service so that we can continue servicing our people and tourists.
And then in terms of tourists, what do you have to tell them now? Because more rain has been forecast and the chances are that the situation might be worse later today. Are they safe? What message can you put across to them?
We have closed all our gravel roads, especially in the south, because these roads are actually traversing in most of our low-level streams, and it's dangerous for any road user to use a stream which is flowing. But we have closed them. We put markers on those roads that or no entry signs that you are not allowed to cross those roads. And we urge our road users, tourists, not to respect those, because we have assessed them. They are dangerous areas that you can't cross. So we urge them not to do that. But we do have roads that are open, especially tar roads are still open, most of them. The tar road that is closed for now is between here and the Lower Savi, which has got excessive damage. It's damaged, and there are 3 or 4 places which there is severely damaged, and it will need time for us to repair. The team is on the ground now to assess if we can have a temporal bypass in the meantime. So we will get such report when the team is done with the assessment. But I strongly urge our road users, tourists especially, because we have seen that some of our tourists, they actually ignore those entry sign, and they want to go and see what's happening, and they find themselves trapped on those roads. So we urge us that they must respect that and must not use those roads.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us. Coley, that's Oriel Nyambi. He is the acting general manager, technical services here at the Kruger National Park. Well, the Kruger National Park, Coley, is not the only place affected. As you have heard maybe yesterday, when the MEC for Kokta, Mandla Msibi, addressed us to brief us about the situation in Mpumalanga as a whole, because this is one of the most affected provinces, actually telling us that the damage in terms of the assessment so far, it's worth about 300 million rand. And well, the resources are not available yet, but I believe that yesterday there was supposed to be a meeting to try and come together and map a way forward in as far as to how much resources will the province receive, how are they going to be allocated in terms of prioritization, because we know that there's quite a lot of infrastructure that has been damaged. There's been clinics affected, schools, bridges and road infrastructure actually leading to some of the villages that were actually cut off. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but we know that even some non-governmental organizations have been doing a lot of work on the ground to provide much needed relief. So we'll continue monitoring the situation here on the ground at the Kruger National Park, as we saw that in terms of the water level, it has subsided, especially the Sabi River. But the concern is that if more rainfall indeed comes down as expected later today, the rivers might go up again in terms of level, and that is why the disaster team here at the Kruger National Park is on standby. Let's take a break, and then we'll continue monitoring the situation on the ground.